My goodness! My goodness, the most exciting NHL offseason of our lives just got even more exciting. And in the most Steve Dangle podcast way possible, it dropped immediately after we were done and the show's been posted and edited and all that fun stuff, because that is how it always works out for us over at the SDP. Well, let's get to it, because this is one of the biggest doozies of my life. The Flyers. The Philadelphia Flyers and Big Brass Briere is what I'm going to call him from now on, have tendered an offer sheet to Leo Carlsson. If you're not aware about offer sheets, you can tender offer sheets to restricted free agents. And that free agent has to then agree to the offer sheet for it to be officially tendered. So this isn't just the Flyers saying, hey, Leo Carlsson, here's an offer sheet, and now it's there out in the ether. No. They went to Leo Carlsson and said, we want to pay you $18 million, and he agreed to it. I'm just going to read from the release to get you all the information, because there's just so much. I want to just talk about all of it right now, but let's do the official business here and get that out to you, the people listening or watching. The Philadelphia Flyers general manager, Daniel Briere, has issued the following statement. The Philadelphia Flyers have tendered an offer sheet to Anaheim Ducks center Leo Carlsson. The offer is a 5-year contract worth an average annual value of $18 million, which would require 4 of the Flyers' first round draft picks in each of the next 4 seasons as compensation. The Anaheim Ducks have 7 days to exercise their right of first refusal on the player per section 10.3 of the NHL collective bargaining agreement. And then there's a bunch of stats about Carlsson. I'll actually go through some of these because I think it's important that you know who Leo Carlsson is and why he's worth this. Carlsson, 21, posted 29 goals, 38 assists for 67 points in 70 regular season games last season with the Ducks. He added 11 points in 12 Stanley Cup playoff games to help lead Anaheim to the second round. A native of Sweden, Carlsson has 141 points in 201 career regular season games with the Ducks. The 6'3", 208-pound center was selected by the Anaheim Ducks second overall in the 2023 NHL Draft. The Flyers will have no further comment until Anaheim makes their decision to match the terms of the offer or accept the compensation of draft picks. Let's get out into the open here what I think we all initially thought when we saw this come down and we looked at the cap situation of the Anaheim Ducks. They're a little screwed right now because of this offer sheet. Let's chat about it. I have Puckpedia up here, and the Anaheim Ducks that currently have $17 million in cap space. Well, you're like, oh, that's not enough to match Leo Carlsson. It is because on Puckpedia, they've already added the $18 million 5-year deal that Leo Carlsson signed, because he has officially signed that contract. And either way this thing comes out, he will get that contract. So they put it on the books there for the Anaheim Ducks. And $17 million is a lot of space. You're probably thinking, oh my goodness, they have $17 million left over and they still have their great Leo Carlsson. But the Anaheim Ducks still have to sign Cutter Gauthier and Tyson Hinz and Pavel Mintyukov. Those are deals they have to get done. And now, with Leo Carlsson making $18 million per season, the Cutter Gauthier deal is what, 12? 13? That deal is definitely in the 2 digits. You start there and you just keep working your way up. From there, they'll only have, $5-6 million to do the Mintyukov deal and the Tyson Hinz deal. And they did not help themselves this offseason by agreeing to terms with the likes of AJ Greer for $4.25 million per season over 4 seasons. Nick Jensen for $2.25 million over 2 years. Jeff Malott for $1.85 million for 3 seasons. These are deals they probably should have held off on until they could figure out the Leo Carlsson situation. And I have not even mentioned the players that they have lost off of their roster in this offseason. The Ducks had to move off of Olin Zellweger, the 22-year-old defenseman. They moved to Buffalo. They fell out of favor with Mason McTavish by the end of it. They traded him to the St. Louis Blues, and in return, they got a couple first-round picks from this past draft. So they already have so many draft picks in their system. It's not like they need these 4 first-round picks. John Carlsson, they spent a first-round pick to get, and then they had to trade his rights to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for a 6th-round pick and Kyle Masters. And then the AJ Greer deal I mentioned before, where they traded Gudas and they acquired Greer to sign him to that contract. Remember what the Ducks were before this last season. They were a bottom-feeding team year in, year out, struggling to just look competitive within the Western Conference. And finally last season, everything looked great. Everything came together with Joel Quenneville behind the bench. He was able to coach this young team with a good veteran mix to the playoffs. They win a couple rounds. They look decent against Vegas, but they come up against stiff competition and they don't quite get it done there. And now the offseason is fully underway and we're soon about to be in the dog days of summer, and they've only gone backwards as an organization in my eyes. Let's throw in here a couple things that are coming up on my Twitter as I'm recording this. Kevin Weeks says, per conversations earlier in the week with sources, the Anaheim Ducks were hoping to be between $10 million and $12 million AAV for Carlsson and Gauthier. Knowing Seneca will be next in line, the Flyers have now come off the top rope. This also impacts Bedard and Celebrini. Yes, let's pause there for the Bedard and Celebrini piece of this thing. They are going to get massive deals. How does Celebrini look at Mike Greer and the Sharks and say, I'm worth less than Leo Carlsson? I deserve $18 million. Maybe he does give the Sharks a better deal than this, because this is a crazy amount. But we'll see how this affects those negotiations. Same thing with Connor Bedard. And we know how important he is to the Blackhawks, who are just in a sorry position in terms of their roster. They have Bedard, and they have Bedard to pay him all of this money. So we'll see how that impacts those RFA deals. Let's see what those numbers come in at. And then the other thing in there, the $10 million and $12 million deals that they were hoping to have for Carlsson and Gauthier. We know that's not happening now. That extra $6 million on the book, that's money that should have been to Mintyukov. And now Mintyukov is eligible to potentially be offer sheeted here, because they are put in this position where they're overpaying Leo Carlsson $6 million in what they wanted to pay him. And Steve Worrier, former staffer for the Florida Panthers, said, if another team has eyes for Anaheim's restricted free agent Pavel Mintyukov, right now would be a decent time to hit him with an offer sheet. Mintyukov, he has a screenshot of Puckpedia here, made .918 last season, left shot, 6'1", 22 years old, eligible for an offer sheet. A 2nd round pick is, I think, all you would need for compensation to get Mintyukov in that range. That would be decent in terms of AAV for Mintyukov. That'd be a $4.7 million contract. You would tender him. Let's see if he actually accepts it. But in the $4.7 million range, all it would cost you is a 2nd round pick. And then lastly, we have Darren Dreger that says details around offer sheet are incredible. Heavily loaded in signing bonus with close to $20 million paid when the contract is registered with the league, all 5 years with huge signing bonus payouts. Darren Dreger was quote tweeting himself, where he says, this will certainly juice the market according to several player agents. Carlsson had 4 teams present offer sheets and several who shared a high level of interest. 4 teams tried to offer sheet Leo Carlsson, and Philadelphia, I assume, went the highest, or is at least the most desired location for Leo Carlsson, and that is the team he went with. Wow. I'm committing to the name Big Brass Briere, because structuring the contract like this, where you're just giving him $39 million-ish up front just in the next year of the contract, that is insane behavior, but that is extremely smart, insane behavior to do. With all of that being said, I do think in the end, the Ducks end up matching this offer sheet, because they have the cap space to do it, and you should just swallow the pill, not give up on your 21-year-old superstar, future of the league center. Don't give up on him just because it's going to cost you a lot of money. I don't think we're going to be sitting here in 7 days' time and Leo Carlsson is a Philadelphia Flyer. I think he will remain with the Ducks, but then you now have to figure out the cap with Gauthier and Hintz and Mintyukov. With that $17 million, whether it is making more trades to send out more pieces of your roster, the older players to make room for these younger players who need these RFA deals, you're setting your organization back years if you're not willing to keep Leo Carlsson for that number. The other numbers become very difficult, but that number isn't impossible to navigate. With the cap going up and Leo Carlsson going up as a player, meaning getting better and better year after year, the number will look decent in 4 or 5 years' time. The Gauthier negotiations are going to get ugly. They'll probably be a little drawn out. You might have to lose some more players. The Mintyukov situation will be the same thing. The Hintz situation is going to be a little better because it is just Tyson Hintz, but he still needs a deal. But here, Pat Verbeek just needs to say, okay, I got played by Daniel Briere. He did the thing that no other GM wants to do. I probably won't be doing any more deals with the Flyers because screw you guys for taking advantage of the system that is perfectly within your right to take advantage of. But you've embarrassed me now, Daniel Briere, but I will not give you this player. I think it's a mistake if they don't just match this offer and go about the rest of their business. You can't do this to your fan base. You can't do this to your team. There's no guarantee that you will recoup a Leo Carlsson level player with those 4 draft picks from the Philadelphia Flyers. And they will all be Philly's 4 first-round draft picks. They are on the come-up. They made the playoffs last year. We were just talking on the Steve Dangle podcast about how Daniel Briere in his post-free agency press conference said that they may take a step back this year, and we ripped him apart for saying that. I want to take back all of those words because with a move like this, you are not taking a step back at all. And clearly you have more up your sleeve that you weren't willing to admit in that press conference. But I think the Flyers are a very good team, despite what Daniel Briere says. I thought they were a good team yesterday. I think they're a good team today, and Leo Carlsson would only make them even better. So I don't think you take those mid-round picks, because that's what they will be with this Flyers team with Leo Carlsson added. You don't take the mid-round picks, you take Leo Carlsson, and that's where I sit on this thing. Let me know where you sit with this offer sheet. What an offseason! What a big ball of fun the NHL has been this week. Let me know your thoughts on the comments below this YouTube video, and while you are there, scroll up a little bit, hit like on this video, and hit subscribe on the channel. I appreciate every single subscription out there. That is it for me right now. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but chose to be listening or watching right now, and I appreciate you for that. Good night from Toronto.